You gotta know that there are some times that Yah listens to what comes out of our mouths and maybe considers the idea of, and to think I gave him the ability to speak. Hi, this is Barry Phillips, a 2-minute Torah, day 2 of Matot, Masei. A little humor goes a long way sometimes, hopefully. We go back to Bamidbar, Numbers chapter number 30, and it says in verse 2 and 3, when a man vows a vow to Yahweh or swears an oath to bind himself by some agreement, he does not break his word. He does all according to all that comes out of his mouth. Or if a woman vows a vow to Yahweh and binds herself by some agreement while in her father's house in her youth, and her father hears her vow and the agreement with which she has bound herself, and the father has kept silent toward her, then all of her vows shall stand, and every agreement with which she has bound herself stands. Maybe tomorrow we'll get into nullifying a vow. Touchy subject, but we'll probably touch on that tomorrow. As for today, let's talk about the power of a vow. And we can remember the days such as when my dad, my grandparents' era of time, if a man made a vow, if he said, this is what I'll do, he did not even have to couch the phrase, and I swear or I promise. He would simply say, I will do thus and such, even if they didn't shake hands. If he said, this is what I will do, or she said, this is what I will do, then no matter what circumstances may present themselves, they felt bound by the integrity of their word. And the understanding was that if a man ever went back on his word, he was to never be trusted again. You get one chance to break your vow. One. So to add the idea of, I make a promise to you, I swear to you, we shook hands on the deal, then that it's done. And I can remember my dad following through on his word to his own hurt. I promise, I will make this right with you, or pay you back, or give you X amount, whatever, on such and such date, next payday, ever how it was working. No matter what the circumstances were, he would have to follow through on his vow because, well, I gave him my word. There was a vital connection between the integrity of the man and the integrity of his words. Nowadays, we have people who make vows all the time. We go down to the end of the aisle and we make vows to somebody. And I know that there's tragic circumstances and heart-wrenching issues as to why marriages don't always last. I get that. But it is very casually undertaken. Well, I meant it then, but I don't mean it now. Making a vow before Yah. Father, I promise you that I will never do this again. And somewhere down the road, we do that again, whatever that might be. Or, Father, I promise you that I will give and I will do, and then it didn't follow through. Does Yah hold us accountable for those words? Well, Yeshua says that by every idle word that comes out of our mouth, that we're going to be held accountable. Not a good thing. Not for any of us. And so when we look at creation, man was created by forming a blob, a mud shape out of the earth, and then he received the indwelling breath, Ruach, the Spirit of the Most High. And it says that Elohim formed the man out of the dust of the ground, breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, or breath of lives. And he became a living being, or another translation says a speaking spirit. The source then of our animation is the breath of life that Yah has given to us. And with that breath of life that originates with Yah, we make vows. So Yah, in a manner of speaking, is a party of our speaking. So if we speak in his name and then fail to follow through and keep our word, then we have desecrated his reputation. This is serious stuff. This is not, well, I meant to, but I couldn't. This isn't, I wanted to, but circumstances prevailed that I couldn't, or I didn't anticipate this. I didn't know that was going to happen. I'm sorry, I forgot. All of these sound very, very light and flippant when considering the integrity of what we're trying to present. And so with a vow, we have the authority and the ability with our words to declare that something is no longer common, but it is set apart. And so we go to our vegetable garden and we see the first tomato on the vine. And we declare, and we even maybe tie a ribbon around the stem or something and say, this is my first fruits. And then we understand that no matter how great that tomato looks when it becomes ready to pick, it's not for us, it's for Yah. We make a vow. We say, this portion of my money I pledge and vow to give to whatever cause, situation, or circumstance it might be required. To then take that money and spend it on ourselves, that's we've broken a vow. However, on the positive side, when we make a vow and Yah hears that vow and we follow through on that vow, then we are inviting the power and the authority of Yah in his word to participate and partner with us. And back here, a few pages here in Numbers chapter 21, there was an assault that was being made, and Israel was at war with Arad. And they made a vow. And by the power of their vow, they invited Yah to participate with them in this upcoming battle and grant them victory over this adversary. And in doing so, they would put everything pertaining to this entity and what belonged to him or under his authority under the ban. That means they would take nothing for themselves. Yah heard their vow, worked with them, and gave them strategic victory. It's not to say that we can manipulate and control Yah by saying, if you will do, then I will do. And we expect some great investment on his part and some minuscule investment on our part. We can't say, Father, if you will give me, a large percentage raise on my job, then I promise I'll go ahead and pay tithes this week. I don't know that that's a good vow to make. I mean, you're obligated and supposed to be doing one, and then you're asking God to do something else. So again, we are strategically inviting Yah to be a part of a situation, to take a vow upon yourself as a means of increasing Yahweh's reality in any given situation. Again, though, it is not to bargain with Yah. If you will heal someone, if you'll prevent someone from dying, then I promise that I will do thus and such. Be very careful about those things. The goal is not so much that we receive some kind of benefit on our own part, but rather that we recognize this is an opportunity for Yah to show up and be revealed, that he gets the honor, he gets the glory, and the situation has been about one thing, now becomes about him. So it's something that we need to keep in mind. Number one, if you make a promise, keep your promise. Number two, if you promise Yah, you better keep your promise. And then number three, understand your opportunity to increase Yah's presence and reality in any situation that you might be encountering. So I promise you that I will do my best, my very best, to be here again tomorrow. I hope you will too. Until then, shalom.